What's up guys and welcome to this. This is your NJPW Power Struggle 2024 review show. I'm your host LK from the SOS WrestleTalk, and don't really hit the like button, drop a comment and smash the subscribe button. Drop down below your thoughts and opinions on this year's 2024 Power Struggle. I'm going to do my review. I'm expecting Dion to do a take on his later on this evening. Unfortunately, I'm in a, wouldn't say a rush because this video will go quite long, I expect, but I'm in a lack of time, as in I have to get my ass to bed to be up for work tomorrow. So I was like, right, I watched the show, I want to quickly come on here, I want to give my thoughts, and I want to hit the hay. So that in mind, I started watching this show because I saw how long the show was. It was about 4.5 hours in length, and I didn't have that kind of time. So what I did is I started where Kenny Omega appeared. That's where I started. So I started literally just before the final of the Super Junior Tag League. So I caught all the big events that happened, all of the returns, all of the turns, all of the everything I caught. So I'm really glad that happened. So I'll quickly run down the matches before for those 6 of you that give a fuck. So the show started off with a kickoff match between Ninja Mac from Pro Wrestling Noah, the DKC and Yo, defeating Captain Suicida, Tiger Mask, and Shoma Kato. We then had 10-man tag action. We had Bullet Club, which was Clark Connors, Driller Maloney, Gabe Kidd, Robbie X, and Taiji Ishimori, defeating Kevin Knight, Kushida, Jude London, Paris De Silva, and Katsuya Murashima in 6.5 minutes. Sounds riveting. Then we had the 8-man tag of LIJ, which is Naito, Tsuji, Bushi, and Hiromu, defeating Dragon Dia, Ryusuke Taguchi, Tomoaki Honma, and Toru Yano in 7 minutes. Again, sounds riveting. And also House of Torture's Evil and Ren Reed defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi and Oleg Boltin in 7.5 minutes. And then you had Shota Umino defeating Sanada in a match which, I'm just reading these results quickly on Cage Match. There isn't a rating on that, so I'm assuming it's not that great, but that'll be the last time we see Sanada as just one of the guys. And then one match I'm annoyed I missed, but I just didn't have enough time, and I wanted to come on here and do a show. So we had United Empires, Great Khan and Hanare defeating TMDK's Mikey Nichols and Shane Hayes to win the IWGP Tag Team Championships. I expect they're going to do a rematch of some kind at Wrestlekingdom, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So where I started right off with Kenny Omega. He comes out. So everything from here on out I've actually watched. I'm not going to come on here and pretend I've watched it all. I didn't. But I watched the stuff that mattered. I watched the 4 main events, 4 really good matches. And I want to say off the top, I want to know down below what you guys thought of this show. But for me personally, I really enjoyed it. And it felt like the perfect show leading into Wrestle Kingdom. That's how I perceive it, because so much happened. And I'm looking forward to excited. It's been a while since I've been able to come on here and be excited about New Japan. And I'm going to be honest, me and Dion, back in the day, we used to review all of the New Japan shows, all the Road 2s, we used to do them together, we used to absolutely smash it. And obviously stuff happens. Dion still does a really good job of keeping everyone up to date with what's going on in New Japan. A lot of the times I listen to him to actually keep up to date with what's going on in New Japan. But since doing a couple of shows with Dion, I kind of got back in the groove. And I'm kind of adjusting my schedule, playing a little less Call of Duty at night after work. That new game's out, by the way, it's fucking amazing. And then it was FIFA before. And I'm like, you know what, I watched the stuff anyway, so why not? Because, I watched Crown Jewel on Sunday. Again, should have reviewed it, didn't. I had a fair excuse though. I was watching the NFL. That's a fair excuse in my opinion. Up the Atlanta Falcons, big victory, up against the Dallas Cowboys, with top of the division. Here we go, baby, Super Bowl. Here we go. Anyway, sorry, I go off on tangents. That's what I do on the show. This is why we need Dion here with me. And I apologise if you're listening, Dion. I apologise I didn't drop a DM. It got a bit late, and I didn't know if I was going to record. And then I just went fuck it, and I didn't want to bother you just in case you're doing anything. But later in the week, we will do a show together. And hopefully, as we approach Wrestle Kingdom, we come up to the prestigious World Tag League. Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? I guess it's a good way to get back fully into the swing of things. It's like the G1. I watched a couple matches, but it was the first year I actually didn't watch much G1, which is really strange. I think it's because back when we used to do this every day, it was like I had to watch it. Then when you get the chance of, you don't have to watch it because you're not recording, it then and then New Japan's kind of was in a dip. But you know, they've picked it back up, and especially with this show. Anyway, let's get back to it. So Kenny Omega, he comes out. Really good ovation, very loud Kenny chants. As he said, he will be able to wrestle, and when he does, he will come back to New Japan. He still says he's going to be full-time in AEW, which is absolutely fine and understandable. And he says January 5th is the potential return date, and he wants to wrestle the up-and-coming stars of New Japan to see if he's still got it. And he says New Japan's his home, and it's the best wrestling in the world. Perfect. Absolutely spot on. Can't really fault that. Really good stuff. Really good to see Kenny Omega. Haven't seen him in a long time. Obviously, he's been dealing with some health issues, so it's really good to see him back. Especially in a New Japan ring. I like AEW. I really like AEW. I like every company. Good wrestling's good wrestling. But Kenny Omega in New Japan just does it. He just suits it to a T. Then we went on to the Super Junior Tag League Finals. We had the team representing TMDK, which is Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, taking on Catch 22's Francesco Akira and TJP. So Catch 22, obviously they won the Junior Tag League last year. They defeated Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Sho. Winner of this one earns himself a Wrestlekingdom match, presumably, for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. Now, I'm going to be frank, I've only seen clips and GIFs of the tournament, so I'm not going to come on here and lie. That's one thing I won't do. You go on a lot of these shows, they'll claim to have watched it all. A lot of them haven't. And from the GIFs I've seen, and their kind of reaction, that's one thing I like about when I'm reading about online about New Japan. It's very, when it's good, they say it's good. When it's bad, they tend to say it's bad. Of course, unless evil's involved. So it's actually easy to somewhat keep up with New Japan on the social media, which is good to see, and they're really good at posting clips and stuff. So it has looked like this has been a very good tournament. So let me know down below in the comments if there's any tag match in particular from this junior tag tournament that you recommend me to go back and watch in my spare time. And if there's a belter, I'll come on and give my thoughts on it. So this one started off some really good back and forth, fast-paced tech work. There was some crazy dives. There was a swanton off the top to the floor by Fujita, tope con hilo from Akira. Both teams, the story somewhat of the match is 2-on-1, 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 2-on-1. That's kind of how these tags work in New Japan. Crowd were into both teams, which is really good to see. Mainly Fujita, but the crowd were loud for it, which is really good. They must have done a great job in this build. Fujita hit a really nice pop-up delay German for a good near fall. Eagles with a springboard hurricane run off the top. Just near fall after near fall. Catch 22 hit the bleeding tower for 2. Crowd electric. And then Eagles and TJP go back and forth with some incredible roll-up variations until Eagles gets the win. This was a really good match, and obviously the War Dogs came down at the end to beat them both down. Just perfect. I'm presuming a 3-way for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, which I'm fine with. Or we just get TMDK against the War Dogs. That I'm absolutely fine with. That'll be a really good match. I really enjoyed TMDK against the War Dogs at this year's Wrestlekingdom. So really looking forward to seeing where they go. But this is a really good match, and here's a recommendation from me. They really did go out there and they killed it. They absolutely killed it, and it was just really good to see, because a lot of the times the junior heavyweights don't get the focus. They get focus at the best of the Super Juniors in the summer, and then here usually the tag league, but it's never kind of important. Like it's middle of the card, not even before there's 3 title matches after it. That shows how important it is. But they did a good job, and it was really good to see the crowd into it, and I hope they continue to build this division because they got some fucking incredible talent. That's one thing people don't talk enough about New Japan, is the amount of talent they have. and it's just really good to see. Then we had Doiki against Master Wato. Poor boys having to follow that. Firstly, I want to say amazing stuff to see Doiki as the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Back when he was in Suzuki Gun, when, as mentioned earlier, me and Dion used to cover the shows from kind of 2016 to 2021 religiously. We liked him. We were like, Doiki's in a match, he's taken the fall. Doiki's in a six-man tag, he's taken the fall. And to still withstand that and keep going every day, especially on those long, grueling tours. We're talking 19-day G1 tours in the tag matches before the block matches. He would be taking the falls for the guys to look good. And now he's having his chance to shine, which is just proof. Keep on sticking at it. Good shit will happen to you. Master Wato obviously coming back, just had an injury. He had a rough start after his excursion. Really did. He obviously won the Best of Super Juniors this year. Didn't win the belt. But I'm about to really critique Master Wato, and again, when I do this, I'm not insulting him. Don't see this as me hating on him, but I'm going to review this match as how I perceived it as a fan watching, and I want to know what you guys think of it. So the match was, your standard kind of dives. There was a cool double stomp off the top from Doiki to the outside on Wato, who was draping over the barricade. And then Wato hit a tope con hilo, and he landed hard on his leg, obviously previous injury. So I'm assuming, now this is, again, as a fan, that we were going to go in the direction of leg hurts. Owie wowie, my leg hurts. That's the story, that's the psychological story that this match is going to entail, and the culmination is going to involve the leg. Because that means the next 5 minutes of leg work is going to mean something. Excuse me, that probably burst your eardrums, I do apologise. So we go back into the ring. Wato hits an inverted tombstone, couldn't cover due to leg injury. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. There was a really nice spot on the way in there where Doiki goes for a wheelbarrow German in mid-flight. Wato countered into a really nice roll-up for a good near fall. And then Wato starts applying this double arm bar using his leg. Now remember the landing on the leg. The couldn't cover because of the leg. He's doing this double arm bar where he's using his legs to kind of choke, and Doiki's there, and he's grabbing for the ropes when his injured leg is at arms. He could literally lift it. Why doesn't Doiki just twist the leg? Fucking Wato sells, bam, you go straight back onto the leg. Why? And then the follow-up with this, Wato goes for a double stomp off the top, does the roll through, you've seen it 100 times, and walks into a clothesline from Doiki. You've seen that 1,000 times. Why didn't Wato go for the double stomp miss? Don't do the roll through, don't try that fancy. Stop, hobble the leg, and then walk in to the clothesline. Why not? They do a strike exchange, boom, boom, boom. Why didn't Doiki just kick the leg? Wato then with a bridge German suplex. Why not go one, because it was a really high angle German. Why not do 1, 2, and then let go because your leg hurts that much? Doiki then applies the Doki Choki, which I thought was really funny. Crowd pretty into it at this point. Wato then passes out. Good, learn to fucking sell. Fuck. Normally it doesn't bother me, but because I was ready, I was mentally prepared for the next 5 to 10 minutes for Doiki to work on the leg. And then it would have been really good. And imagine if he's doing the Doki Choki and Wato's also grabbing his leg in pain, like he passes out and he's holding his leg, like it would have been so good. Anyway, El Desperado comes out. Apologies if that's nitpicking. When you guys are probably the same when you've watched wrestling for so long. That's my style. I like believability. I'm just like the next guy. Love me a spot fest. Don't get me wrong, opening match of a show, give me some. I want to see 10,000 flips, but I want to see character, I want to see story, and I want to feel emotion. They're the three things: character, story, emotion. So Desperado comes out. Not seen him since July, after losing the title to Doki. Doki then and Desperado have a stare down. They're obviously former Suzuki Gun teammates, and then Despy says after these two matches, that's why he's proud of junior heavyweight wrestling, he challenges Doki for the Tokyo Dome January the 4th. Doki accepts. We have our IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. We have Doki defending the championship against El Desperado. That should be good. Lots of backstory to that one. Then we have David Finlay defending the IWGP Junior Global Championship against Taichi. This is Taichi's chance to win his first singles title in 5 years, which was when he was the Never Openweight champion. Man, his matches with Ishii were absolutely amazing back then. Speaking of back then, everyone used to hate Taichi. Now he's the king. He's the man. Same as, it's a bit different obviously with Finlay being a heel, but as a young lion out of that patch, which was a very successful patch of young lions, you just thought there's nothing he can do. He just doesn't compare, and he's really gone out there and killed it. So much respect. They then go to the good old-fashioned collar and elbow tie-up to start this off. Man, I sound old. And it's even like back in the when I grew, because for me when I grew up watching it as a kid, we're talking kind of 2001 to kind of obviously to now, but in that time period you still had the Triple H's, the Rocks, the Kurt Angles, the Benoits, the Guerrero, the Edge, the top guys. When when it's a big match, start off with a good collar and elbow tie, good lock up, and then you can establish who's the heel straight away. Boom, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. This one had the traditional New Japan heat with the heel using the barricade. Match picks up when Taichi takes his pants off. Yeah, that is true. Finlay hits a backbreaker, and then as he does, he sells the back, after taking the barricade. What a genius concept. Crowd mega behind Taichi. Taichi gets there's some really good near fall sequences with dangerous backdrop. Finlay with Into Oblivion. Taichi kept going for the super kick, and Finlay kept finding different ways to counter it. One was ducking, one was grabbing it, throwing away, one was just grabbing it by the edge of his hand, and then finally when he hit it, big near fall, because they built it up, and that super kick meant something. It's really good stuff. Taka Michinoku then takes out Gator on the outside. Taichi Black Mephisto. Ref gets pulled out. Great work by the camera for not actually showing Sanada. The camera goes to Sanada eventually, and he's like, "What? Not me!" Like that expression, like what? And then the crowd behind, and Taichi's going to the other side, screaming at Gato, saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And then he realizes, "Wait, you're on that side of the ring. Sanada's on that side." And he looks over and he realizes in the expression when Taichi's face was priceless. I felt bad for the man. Really good stuff. Finlay then hits him with a shillelagh, hits an inverted GTS with 1, 2, 3. Finlay retains. And then post-match Sanada attacks Taka Michinoku Taichi. Doiki then comes out. He's also one of the 5 guys. He's not happy with Sanada. Finlay then says the match happened because Yuya Uemura is scared of him. And then he calls out Yota Tsuji as he's not happy he was pinned twice by him. And as Tsuji comes out, Finlay shouting, "Hurry up, you fucking fat ass." It was quite entertaining. Finlay then challenges Tsuji for a global title match at Wrestlekingdom. And then Tsuji goes, "I beat you twice in the G1, I'll do it again," and accepts. Really good stare down, and it's good seeing these younger guys get featured. Tanahashi and Co. Doing a much better job than we anticipate. I remember at the start of the year I did some videos about the state of New Japan, how no new stars are built, and they're building them. Yota Tsuji, David Finlay, that was good build. There's story behind it. There's a reason for this match. It's not just 2 guys going at it. It's, Yota Tsuji's beaten him twice. Finlay wants to prove that he can beat him. and Tsuji wants championship gold, so it works out perfectly. I think we're going to have a Sanada Taichi match, which, if Taichi beats Sanada, boom, you're elevating Taichi to really good heights. Because obviously Sanada's former IWGP World Champion, so that is really good. So that was some really good booking, and a good swerve. So Sanada is in the Bullet Club, he's in the War Dogs. And then we have main event time. We have the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. We have Zack Sabre Jr. defending against the never Openweight Champion Shingo. I'm looking forward to seeing who Shingo challenged. Probably Ishii. How dare I question anyone but Ishii to challenge for the never Openweight belt. So the story of this is Zack wants to win so he can main event Wrestle Kingdom, and Shingo wants the big belt. Simple as that. Started off with some good mat wrestling, as you expect. The first 15 minutes was a really good story, but every time Shingo's trying to build up offense, Zack would cut it off with wrestling holds. And the thing with Zack Sabre Jr., I think some people, I think you probably split 50-50. I think some people will really enjoy the style of Zack Sabre Jr. Some people will be like, no, his technical wrestling's a bit boring, blah blah blah. And again, none of these are wrong. If you're watching this going, I fucking hate Zack, I was rooting for Shingo. You're not. It's your opinion, and that's the beauty of it all. And you're entitled to it. I for one really enjoy watching him wrestle, but I'd understand if you didn't. But again, there's so many different styles in New Japan that, and all over the world, and all different companies. It's really not a problem. It got heated with some big strike exchange, big boots from Sabre Jr., some lariats from Shingo, until Zack caught a Shingo uppercut, bam bam, a caught clothesline hit, bam bam uppercut, and then Shingo used the other good arm to hit him with a lariat, nasty Death Valley driver off the top rope, lovely pacing, just selling so you can embrace each spot and fully let them sink in. This was really so. Shingo goes for a sleeper hold. Zack Sabre Jr. selling him like he's passed out. Red Shoes there screaming like, Zack, are you okay? And then Zack just slowly rolls to the ropes. Red Shoes again just makes it. He's so good because it just makes it feel like this is a real fight, that they're fighting for a real belt that matters, and he's there for their safety. I think it was just really good. Red Shoes is a pro, one of the best referees of all time. If he's not in your top 5 referees of all time, you're an idiot. Actually, that's harsh. If he's not in your top 5, then you haven't watched him enough. Crowd really got into it. There was, this was so good. Zack hits a Zack driver and applies the knee bar. Shingo this time scrapes to the ropes. Shingo then goes for Made in Japan. Remember the knee bar? Zack then kept kicking the leg. And he kept kicking and kicking until Shingo finally hit the Made in Japan, but he couldn't cover because his leg hurts, because he was in the knee bar and he was taking the kicks. It's amazing. Zack then hits a Sabre driver with the right leg hooked, the injured one. He hits it with that and then pulls that leg back for the cover. It's just really good. This was just two pros going out wrestling at a really good pace. It was hard hitting, there was big spots, the ending mattered, the leg work mattered in the grand scheme of things, so I like it. We have let's go to the end. So we have a post-match Sabre Jr. promos promoting who's going to be the next challenger. Shota Umino comes out. Loud boos. Says he's the challenger. When and where, it's up to you. Shota then goes, thank you, dickhead. They shake hands. And I put my notes here, that Wrestle Kingdom. And I'm not... the crowd booed. I don't think they were booing Umino per se. I think they're booing the idea of the match. I think that's what they were doing. And then it looked like the show's going to close. Ricochet's music hits. Ricochet, dressed very dapper, hits the springboard clothesline. Great reaction. Ricochet wants to take the IWGP World Championship from Sabre Jr. to prove he's, and I quote, the fucking man. And he challenges him for January the 5th. Ricochet then goes to attack Zack until Umino comes out, makes the save, but then Zack's obviously pissed off, so he throws Umino out the ring. Then Umino hits the Death Rider to Zack Sabre Jr. and stands over him with the World Championship. So what are we going to get here? What are we gonna get? Now hear me out. The problem is Umino kind of, it felt like a heel turn, but it didn't. Because you could do Umino Ricochet at Wrestle Kingdom, winner challenges for whomever the world champion is at Dynasty. They could do that. Wrestle Dynasty, sorry. So it's kind of different. I'm really intrigued for how they're going to play this out. Because you've got 3 guys there. I'm assuming they're not going to do a 3-way at Wrestle Kingdom, but are we going to get a World Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom? If so, who's going to be the challenger? There's so many questions. Also want to say Gabe Kidd attacked Kenny Omega post-match in a backstage taped segment. So presumably January 5th we're going to get Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega, which I am more than happy for. So that will do it really, and not really much to talk about. I was in a time crunch and this idiot went 26 minutes. But there we have it. I do enjoy talking about New Japan and I want to do this a lot more, so thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, drop a comment down below your thoughts and opinions on this year's Power Struggle event. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay well. I'll be catching your asses down the line.